Well, hello. The countdown is on. It is Alexander Rodriguez. It is right on. And look at me, unshaved, unkempt. I've had a very lazy weekend, I have. I'm terrible, absolutely terrible. I wouldn't even have a shave. That is terrible coming onto the camera, but it's real. That's the best thing, it's real. I've got a Dear John show for you. Welcome to the Dear John show, Sunday 14th of January 2018. Wow. And that was 1963. That's a long time going. Wow. I'm getting old, I think, but I love it. Absolutely love it. They say you get wiser. I questioned that one myself, yeah. What have I got for you this week? We have the topic of the week, brought to us by none other than Tracy Woodhead. What a brilliant topic she opened up with this one. If someone gave to you a box of everything you ever lost, what is the first thing you'd look for? We had 126 comments on this one. And we had a lot more people in on the topic than we've had before, which is brilliant. Community coming together. Love it. Lots of the answers were very much the same. Of mothers, fathers, brothers, sisters, babies. We've all been there at some point or other, or most of us anyway. And it would be brilliant to be able to bring those people back into our lives. But would we? Let's be honest, would we? We see what life is now towards what they knew. What else? We had sentimental values. Joan Burke with her diamond ring, the first one her husband ever gave to her. And we had Annie Johnson and the ring, or some kind of value that she got. It's gone. It's lost. Other people said everything they've lost of material value doesn't matter. It's the people that were in our lives that was most important. Tracy, you opened up a beautiful Pandora's box with this actual topic. Proud of you. Absolutely proud of you. What else have I got for you? We got the poetry reading, of course. Christine Parker will be bringing 3 poems, as far as I know. Don't quote me on it, though. We got one from Susan Worrell, Tracy Woodhead, and Johnny P. Lee. And I've got 2. And for the first time, I think, maybe the second time, I'm going to read one of my own tonight as well. Because I posted it in the group during the week, that I may shine your light. And some lady wrote back to me and said to me, this is a poet's prayer. So I'm going to call it, that I may shine your light, a poet's prayer. So this will be my dedication as a poet's prayer to all poets who really give their all for everybody else out there. I have a lovely true life story from one of our members who has moved recently. And her name? Guess what? Hello, Alexandra Rodriguez. How are you? I'm delighted to see you here, Alexandra. We have Rexanne Endicott is the lady with the true life story that I will have for you as well. And we also have our quote of the week. Vicky Madiag, how are you? Madiag, how are you? Lovely to see you here, Vicky. I'm absolutely chuffed. It's great to see the faces coming in. I'm going to have to move my screen over for a second because I need to know who's there. Oh no. Christine, we got that problem again we had before, where the camera's not in front of you. So I need you to send me a request when I'm bringing you on home. Nina Tilo, lovely seeing you here as well. Mela Magion has come in. Wow, you're all coming in now. Tracy Woodhead, Tabitha, how are you, Tabitha? Wow. God, every time I move this, it moves on and moves off and moves on and moves off. It's all over the place. Some great greetings here. Tabitha, we're all well. I reckon we're all well anyway. Charlotte hasn't been too well, mind you, over the last week or so. She seems to have that new strain of the Australian flu or so. Tracy, there you go. I told you were brilliant at meeting and greeting. You don't listen to me sometimes. Maybe all the time. I don't blame you. I don't blame you at all. I'm going to go straight on to Rexanne Endicott's story. It's a beautiful story. I love when something happens for somebody. It's something brand new. It's like a new start in life. It's like a whole new thing. And Rexanne, she's a dear member of our community in this group. And she's been here with us a lot of times. But she moved home near Christmas and is now living on a Native American reservation. Now, from what I've seen on the television of Native Oh, thank you so much, Christine. Native American reservations. They're huge, vast, monstrous spaces. Um, People will ask you, what era would you like to go back to? If you could go back into the era, what era? I'd love to go back to the time of the Native American Indians and be among them. Some of the stuff I've read on this whole nation is absolutely unbelievable. I always believed they were the last ones with communication to the spiritual side of each and every one of us. Hello, Charlotte. How are you? It's lovely seeing you in here. And Saraswati, my dear sis in India. How are you? Brilliant seeing you in here. Right, where am I gone? To the reservation. I'm going to read this the way I have it wrote down, guys. It's a big change from where she had been living. She's surrounded by trees and a lake full of cattails. I don't think I've ever seen a cattail in my life. I did on a cat, but I think we're talking fish here. On top of that, she has apple and pear trees and cherry trees. Man, heaven. And wild blackberries all around. Oh, her porch is huge and covered with a great view of the lake that looks like it's totally covered in vegetation. And the blackbirds are already starting to sing in the mornings. Oh, come on. Come on. You got us all envious here, Rexanne. This is absolutely brilliant. When it's dark, it's actually pitch, with just the moon and the stars for light, so long as it's not overcast. Do you know, I'm in poet's heaven reading this out because your ink would never stop flowing, and plus you'd have a lake to fill it back up with as well. But your ink would not stop flowing with this. Absolutely beautiful place. And it gets better. Weeping willows, deer, a local eagle. There's legends. Rexanne describes her new home surrounding as mysterious. A place with lots of stories. Luckily, Rexanne herself is a writer. She also paints and draws. Hello, Johnny Peely. How are you, my friend? Good to see you in here, my friend. Let's see. Guys, let's all wish Rexanne all the best for the future. And listen, hope she will fully furnish us with a story or a painting that we can bring to the show. She might dig up something on these mysteries. Who knows? God only knows. The Dear John show might be glorified soon with something from Rexanne. Make it big, Rexanne. Make it big. Guys, I'm going to bring Christine in now, if I can. So let me see. Christine, I need you to send me an invite. Like I said, I got 2 poems for me tonight. I got another beautiful poem from, ooh, she'll kill me for this, Joe Wiggins. Joe is in the US, is in Australia, Western Australia, in Perth, Western Australia. Right, let me get Christine in, add Christine, and I'm going to let Christine go first. I love when Christine goes first. She puts me right into the mood for all this poetry, big time. I have to say that before she comes on, so she might be able to hear me, you know? Hello, Christine. Happy
Hello,
Sunday.
I just lost you a few minutes ago and my connection cut off, so I've come into my other room now where I'm nearer to the connection in case it was my end. So I completely missed the story from Endicott. Completely missed it, so I'll have to listen to it.
You're joking.
Yeah,
Oh, what a
but
beautiful place she's moved to. She's moved on to a reservation in the
yeah,
USA.
yeah.
And
I
she's
just caught
surrounded
that
by
bit at the
everything.
beginning.
Yeah. She
Mm.
has everything. Cherry blossoms. She has weeping willows. She has a local eagle, deer,
Yeah, no.
cattails. Man,
I'll go
isn't
back and
that a
listen to the
poet's
show.
heaven?
I'll listen to the show again later when it's when you've gone off live. But I hope my connection will stay on now if it's my end. But I'm nearer to it now, so
So listen, tell me, how did your week go?
good, very good. I had a bit of time to practice this week because one of the poems was quite challenging to read. So that was the one from Johnny. It's wonderful,
Yes.
absolutely wonderful, very spiritual and incredible. I was very impressed with that. So I've been practicing this week. So I hope it should be okay. I think so.
Well, I think Johnny was sent here to test us anyway,
Yeah,
Christine. He was sent here to test us. I have
maybe.
well, for next week, we're already full with poetry for next week.
Oh, are we?
Um,
Okay.
I've got 4 for you for next week already lined up.
That's
So
fine.
I'll be able to send all 4 together to you tomorrow morning or so, yeah?
Yeah, that's fine.
Give you
Yeah,
the whole
quite
evening. Like there's some beautiful ones in there. And we got 2 newbies, 2 newbie poets that
good.
have come on board as well. And it's great. Well, I mean, everybody deserves a mention. I mean, they
Yes,
work hard
definitely.
to put this together. They do. They do their best. And we'll pick up the poetry, we'll pick up the people, and we'll put them on the picture and
Definitely.
get the names out there among each other. That's what we're here for. We
Yes.
enjoy it. So tell me, have you added any more poetry to the 3, or is it just the 3?
Well, you asked me to read another one of mine, so I've dug one of mine out as well. And
Thank goodness. I thought you weren't listening to me for a minute.
no, I was. I'm just not as prolific as a lot of the people on here. I don't write as much, because I've had so many other projects and stuff on the go. So I haven't written a lot of poetry for quite a while. So I'm digging up my old stuff now, but that's fine.
Yeah, we'll make you prolific one way or another.
Well,
Yeah.
you're all inspiring me very much, so that's lovely.
Yes.
It's really, really good. So I've got four
You got 4
poems.
tonight. Brilliant. Because I've only got 2, believe it or not. I've only got my one and Joe Wiggins' one.
Yeah, yeah.
But
Shall I
I've
read
got the
slowly then?
ones. Hey?
Shall I read slowly then
Yes, please.
to fill out the time?
Just in case we don't reach the hour mark, they'll all be going home, still
Exactly.
sober. I can't have that.
No, we can't have that, can we? No.
Oh. So where are you going to start? Tell me where you're going to start.
I'll start with mine, my first poem, and it's one I wrote after the death of my, what do you call it in English? Wait a minute. My husband's mother,
Your
mother-in-law.
mother-in-law.
Sorry, I couldn't
Wow.
find the word. It came in
I'm going to
German
take
in my
a
head.
bow for that one.
It came in German in my head instead of in
Oh
English.
dear.
Sorry, couldn't find the word. A bit tired today. I had friends over for lunch, and the husband's a personal trainer, a hobby personal trainer. So they took me out and did the rounds with me. So I'm half dead now from training. My
I
brain's.
love a day like that. I love a day like that.
The weather was glorious here. It was sunny and bright, and we went out into the wood, right into the wood. It's like a trail through the wood with little obstacle courses on the way that you can do, all made out of natural wood
Beautiful.
from the trees. And so it's good
Wow.
fun. But after we'd finished training, we'd been walking for about an hour and a half, and he said, "Oh, let's go right round the lake now for another walk." So that was another hour and a half.
Yes, they're
My
quite
old
big lakes in Germany, yeah.
exactly, my old body is saying, "Oh, I'm tired now. Whoops." But never mind. You only need my
So
voice, so
we're going
that's
to
fine.
hang on to your coattails anyway now.
Okay, here we go then. So this is mine written for my mother-in-law after she passed away. It's called I Grieve. I grieve far away from a womb that never bore me, yet nurtured me as one of her own. A fledgling invited into her nest to join her throng of greedy mouths screaming to be fed. I grieve remembering her soft, gentle hands, preparing food for nourishment, caresses for comfort, her warmth, her smell, her words, so meaningful and important in my life. The letters telling how much she loved all of you and me. I grieve losing her nearness, seeing her movements before me, tucking in the sheets on my wedding night, her tummy swollen with age as it once was with birth, movements silently closing their shapes. I grieve to think of her life spent for us, her children. I grieve to quell my mountain of grief at losing her, to let her go as soon as I can, to sleep well and peacefully until we go to her.
Christine, to hear something like that, like an accolade to wow, for somebody to touch your life in that many ways.
She
I
was
mean, we
wonderful.
wonder, open the box, what would you take out? How could you leave somebody like that in the box that you've lost? You couldn't. And
No,
that's
you
what I
can't.
love about Tracy's question.
Yes,
It is so provoking. As soon as you open that box, the first thing that's going to hit your mind
yeah,
is the thing you most loved. That wasn't material. It
exactly.
wasn't material. It was. even though they are material in touch, they're spiritual in the sense of what they give us, what they teach to us, life skills, the whole lot. That's
Yeah.
beautiful, that is. Absolutely. It's a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful poem to write for your mother-in-law. That's beautiful.
Yes. Thank you very much. Yes, she was a very, very wonderful lady. She really was very dear to my heart. Yeah.
Oh, you can tell. You can absolutely tell. I mean, wow.
So the next one is a complete contrast. This is from Tracy Woodhead. This is a beautiful, sweet little poem. I read this somewhere else some while ago. I can't remember quite where I read it, but I thought, oh, this is so sweet and touching. Very, very moving. It's called The Window Frame. The frame is crying. I see the tears drip down from its beams. I won't be told it's raining when my eyes see the clearest sky there's ever been. Oh, poor little frame. Its paint slowly weathered away. Its inner self is showing. Yet it still stands up strong, holding in its dearest pain. Now its window is broken, and a friendship, it seems, may end. But the frame hates goodbyes, so prays in tears to any listening ears. Can you fix my pain? Say yes, so she don't have to leave. We meet as friends so long ago, I'd hate to believe the end of our friendship this could be. The frame awaits daily to see if anyone cares or knows how to fix his friend and put back their harmony once more.
I love listening to this because I got to read it before I got to give it to you, and I got to read it in Tracy's own group.
Yeah, that
Poem
may
for
be where I
Us.
read it too. Yeah.
And when I read it first, I thought to myself, where is this going? Are we talking about a window frame, or are we talking about the frame of a person? Or is it both? Because it relates to both. And
It's gorgeous, isn't it?
The more I read it, it is somebody depending on a friend. I mean, we look at a window frame. I got one right in front of me here. I'm looking at the window frame. And I'm thinking, we got glass, timber, and putty there.
Mm.
There's a coordination, there's a collaboration of three things in
Yeah,
one.
yeah.
And the
Well, I
rain
went.
coming down, we cry. The weather rain beats
Yeah,
down. We fall apart. We lose our paint, whatever.
yeah,
And
yeah.
we need the sunlight to come back to get that paint back, don't it? I just
I,
love the
I
way she
went into
put that
some.
together.
I went into some sort of fairyland. I could see this whole picture frame before me. It's like some old house in a fairyland or something. I went completely into an
Yeah.
imagination world. It was lovely when I read it. Gorgeous.
Tracy brings you down. What was that following up to Alice in Wonderland? There was the second one, Through the Looking Glass.
The Looking Glass, yes.
That's what it's like when you're reading Tracy's
Yes,
poetry. It's like Through the Looking Glass. It's absolutely brilliant. And I love
exactly.
that's a wonderful poem, Tracy. Thanks for supplying us with that one. Absolutely fantastic. Can I just say a couple of hellos while I got you on the break, Christine? Um, Janice Fisher, thanks for coming in, hon. And Diane Reed Burgess, thank you for being here. Thank God you're getting over that flu. We've had a few down with the flu, and seemingly there's a new strain, a batch of flu called um, the Australian flu. So we have to blame the Aussies on this one. It's about time.
Well,
Been blaming the Asians for years for Asian flu. So now
yes,
we've got the Australian flu.
they've
God
given us
love
a
us
name.
if we ever get the Irish flu, we're knackered altogether. But without the window, the famine and everything involved with that one. It's terrible.
Oh, you're a laugh a minute, John. You really are.
Oh, go on. Now, who have we got next? Come on, tell us.
The next one is another poet that I love very much, Susan Worrell, again, and
Yes.
it's called The Real You. Also completely different contrast. The Real You. I trace the contours of your face without a touch of your skin. I count the lines of your lies growing painfully thin. Your mouth is moving, but I don't hear your speech. I search with no prize the man that I seek. For he's lost in your stories of unfound success. I see through your lies. You forget, I know you best. Once in those eyes I saw love and devotion. Now all I see is turmoil and commotion. You told so many stories, you don't know what's true. Ask, and I'll tell you, because I know the real you.
I read that the other night. Susan, I was speaking to Susan on Messenger, and she messaged me that particular poem. And she knows the kind of stuff I like, the kind of poetry I like to really get into. Um, we've worked so closely together for quite a while, and I admire Susan's poetry. She has some beautiful poetry in that array of
She
poetry.
does, yeah, yeah.
And
I
she
love
put
her
one
work
up
too.
today called "What is Grief?"
Yes,
None
I
of you,
read that.
you've read the
Yeah,
book. You've read it,
I
and
just read it
it
before we
is
came
one of the
online.
most. It's one of the most powerful pieces
Yeah,
I've ever read where grief is concerned, and she describes it to a T with everything that happens from the first moment
she
to the
does.
last straw. It's absolutely beautiful. She's a beautiful poetess, absolutely beautiful
She is. She
poetess. We
really
have
is.
what was it? The one you've just read now about knowing the person best. When I read it the other night, and she'd said to me, and I'd read it to her, and I had to have a little think to myself for a minute. Then I thought, when you look around, what happens in the world with everything, friendships, relationships, the whole lot, and from something so great to something that can just be allowed to fall apart, because we allow things to fall apart instead of working on knitting them back
Yeah,
and bringing them and nurturing them and bringing them forward. We let them go.
exactly.
We let them go, and we kick ourselves for years after. We live in the moment for a long, long time until we can swallow what we call our pride, and
Yeah,
that's what it is. At the end of the day, it's pride.
yeah, yeah.
When we get over that particular obstacle, I think there's a better way forward. Definitely.
There is. Yeah. Yes, very, very. I read the poem that you just mentioned as well about grief just before you came live. Actually, I was reading a couple there, and I thought, wow, this is just stunning. I read your comment as well that you'd written on the poem. You know, amazing,
Yeah.
very, very good. She's very talented, very talented. So now we're going to get Johnny's piece called Johnny P. Lee. This is really, as I said, very spiritual, very deep
Yes.
poetry, I think, and beautifully written, very beautifully written. I found this very moving. It's called Mirrors in My Soul, and alone the title, I think, says a
Tells you
lot.
the whole story. Yes.
It does, it does. There are mirrors secured in my soul, hidden images roaming free as ghouls. Darkest night casting a shadowy reflection, passing through history on recollection. Accountability for my life from age to age. The years matter not, only the mileage. Slithering the abyss, a soul on the soar, diving to snatch a storm in its roar. A stretchable expanse where my soul resides, since pride and humility are sitting side by side. Friends and enemies living just next door. Control rigidly adhered as never before. Vulnerability knighting my soul invincible. Soul raiders persuaded into convincible. Pay handsomely to own a faithful slave. Soul possession subtly leads to its grave. A haughty heart bids for the highest prize. Prudent auctioning always stops the rise. Weighing its worth, check and check again. Lost in wanderings, how severe the pain. Kindness to beggars, the spendthrift, attending to the wounded double swift. Lend an ear to the desolate's sorrow, not delay responsibility till tomorrow. Such are the yardstick for a soul in training, darkness and light in balance maintaining. Good and bad turn right or wrong way, stay focused, converge, and do not sway. My daily struggle or joy mirror from within, be ready to bear the consequence of sin. Let liberty, justice, and truth prevail. Anything less or short is of no avail. Severity is the whip that inflicts. Repentance releases, never convicts. Prayers and labours in counterfeits, detected in claims for their benefits, all reflected in the mirrors planted therein. Gaze not on the outside, but look within.
Do you know, I was just going to say to you a couple of minutes ago, as you were going through the poem, I just didn't want to interfere or interrupt. They say there's nobody knows your soul like you do yourself. And we're looking so outwardly in this life. We're forgetting there's an inwardly side to us as well. And we're not looking deeply whatsoever. And Johnny has brought that whole situation to light in this particular piece. And when you said it was deep, I knew how deep it was going to be because, again, I was lucky enough, I was fortunate to get it off Johnny before anybody else. And I've been fortunate to have one of his books too, to go into and look at some of the poetry in there. And on a bad day, a day that's not a great day for you, you can actually go out, pick up the book, read something. It doesn't have to be anything in particular. Just pick a page, flick it open, and take one of the poems. And you're going to be in a different place in 2 or 3 minutes than you have been. And it's a beautiful, beautiful thing that somebody can give that to somebody else just by the touch of word.
Yeah.
Amazing. Absolutely amazing.
Yeah, I thought so too. Brilliant poem. Absolutely brilliant. Very, very good. Talented.
I've got one here, Christine. As I said, from Joe Wiggins. It's called A Warrior's Prayer. I'm going to keep you on camera for this one because I know this is one you're going to like. Yeah?
Okay.
This is one you're really going to like. I'm going to be very honest because I always try to be in the first place. I'm going to be very honest. When I read this first, if I had not have looked at the name of the person on the top, I would have suggested it was a gentleman had written it. Yeah?
Yeah.
Because this is all about a male warrior. But when I read the poem, to get the view from the eye of a female, bounced me for a minute. I'm thinking, God, man, you're still in the dark ages, pal. You know, you gotta wake up, give yourself a shake. And I really love this one. I absolutely love this one. So Jo she's from Western Australia in Perth. Western Australia. I don't think she's from Perth. She lived somewhere else, but she moved to Perth. And it's called The Warrior's Prayer.
What's her name, John, did you say?
Jo Wiggins, J-O.
Jo Wiggins, yeah. Okay.
And she's got a lovely group going with a lady. We've had a lady poetess on before, Nina Tilo.
Yes, I've heard that name.
Poetry in the Blood, it's called. It's a beautiful group. Some absolutely magnificent poetry inside of this group comes in. But poetry itself, I just love poetry. I'm like you, Christine. I just love poetry. I don't mind what group it's in, whose group it's in, or where it's coming from. So long as it's come from the poet, I'm quite happy to hopefully come across it and bring the poet forward onto the show and see what we can do then. A Warrior's Prayer. A warrior tired and battle sore kneels as pledges are being sworn. He hears nothing of what is said. He's deafened by the screams of dead. He looks outward through weary eyes that have seen wars born from many lies, and silently he offers a prayer to a God he fears is no longer there. In his prayer he asks for strength, not for riches or days of length. He begs his God to mercy show, for forgiveness for the things he knows. He thumps his chest in angst and fury, as he kneels before God, his judge and jury, guilty of deeds that brought him shame, that have robbed him of his worthy name. Hours pass before he feels the chill of a night that's born to end days will. It crept in slowly as a silent thief. He heard not even a rustling leaf. If he should live till the coming dawn and see the beauty of the early morn, see its gifts that were hope for life, he prayed he'd make his sins come right. For every life that fell that day, how many men, only God could say. He'd carry their names etched in steel upon his heart, forever in godly zeal. He'd remember them one by one, from break of dawn to setting sun. He'd breathe the air that spilled from lungs, and listen always to their silent songs. A moon and stars grace his peaceful sky, and glisten over where the dead now lie. Each is gently kissed with a speckled light. The dead with the open eyes, who now lack sight. A warrior tired and battle sore, gave all he could till he could no more. Now it was time to take what's owed and live a godly life as he had vowed.
Stunning, yeah. Really, it
The
is rather
battlefield,
masculine. I know what you mean about the masculine. Yes, it's very,
yeah,
yes,
the
definitely.
battlefield itself. I mean, I've said it even in the wars we've had in the last two world wars. Everything you read, all the history programs portrays the man. The man. He
Yeah,
was out shooting bullets, killing each other. He was doing the job he was given. The woman was left with 90% of continuing life,
yeah,
bringing up the children, cooking, working at the ammunition factory to keep it all supplied.
yeah.
They got very little acknowledgement for their efforts in this world
Mm,
towards what the man gets. It is so
yeah,
male dominated. It is pathetic to even
yeah.
call yourself a male. It is absolutely pathetic
Mm,
for the efforts to go out there. We look around the institutions. You're the teacher yourself, Christine. You look at the teaching institutions across the world. 65 to 70% are female teachers.
yes, yeah,
30%, 35% are male. Come on. Who
yeah.
is who in this world? It is crazy. Absolutely crazy. The giver of
Yeah.
life, the woman. I mean, God, we are totally upside down. I'm getting a little bit philosophical now, I know, but we are
Go for it,
totally
darling.
upside
Go for it.
down. We really, really, truly inside out, upside down. And that's what I say, man. We no longer look inwardly, we look outwardly.
Mm.
Outwardly. Who has more than us that we can get more than them?
Oh God, yeah,
Jesus, be happy with
yeah.
what you've got. You've got something. There are actual people out there that have absolutely nothing. Be
There
happy
are.
for what you have, yeah.
Yes,
And
definitely, definitely.
it kills me when I look back history. History was supposed to be something that taught us a lesson to bring us forward. Not something to repeat and do again and again and again and again and again.
Exactly. Will we never learn from two world wars or all the wars of the past still
Yeah,
going on, killing each other, devastating cities and towns and homes, and
yeah.
what for? What for? You know?
I can't work that one out either, Christine. Because at the end of every war, I mean, I sit sometimes and I listen. You got two armies facing each other, they're both fighting for God. What? For the same God? On both
Yeah,
sides? I'm a little bit confused with this one.
yeah,
You
exactly.
know,
Yeah,
yeah, God is with us. He's with them, mate. Yeah, he's with us.
yeah.
It's just makes no sense
It,
whatsoever.
it
None
doesn't.
whatsoever.
You can't make sense of it, can you? I never will be able to. I shall go to my grave never understanding how war could
Yeah,
happen or why. You know.
exactly. And I think a lot of us will go in
Mm.
that way because to work it out now after all these years, science hasn't even worked this one out.
No, no, definitely not.
Although we can live in hope, Christine, one day there will be an app for
Yeah.
that.
I
They've
agree with
got
you on that one, John. I
an app
definitely.
for everything else, haven't they?
Yeah, lovely.
Oh, Christine, it's a delight seeing you again tonight. I look
You're
so
very
forward to
welcome.
this.
Yes, pleasure,
Thank you
John.
so much for your beautiful readings.
You're very welcome. I look forward to the new ones coming in for next week.
Well,
Great.
well, tomorrow I've got an interview for a job tomorrow.
Oh, right.
Um,
Okay.
I've always wanted to go into care work. Yeah.
Oh, good for you.
And
Yes.
tomorrow, please God, tomorrow, um, my luck might just be on my side. I'm not interested in the hours you work or anything else. I'm interested in going out there for something meaningful.
Yeah.
And sometimes
It's
you
very
need a change in life.
it's a very special job to do. Very early in my singing career, I worked for something called, what was then called Crossroads Care Attendant Scheme in London. I don't think they exist anymore, certainly not in the format that they did then. And I had a part-time job caring for people in their own homes. When, like, if you had an aging parent or something, I would come into your home for a few hours so that you could go out and have some relief, you know. And I started off just general caring, but then it turned, I ended up with the seriously ill and dying, and even accompanied a few people into death as well. And I can't tell you what it brought into my life. I've never forgotten it. It was a wonderful, wonderful experience to be able to give that kind of care to someone, you know. So I'm sure your soul will be moved if you can manage to do it.
Oh, I felt my soul moving so long now, wanting to do this, never getting the right opportunity. Always being told the door is closed. You need 6 months of specialist training. This, you need 12 months of that. And you're thinking, how can I get it if you don't give me a chance? I'm
Yes.
willing to follow where you need to lead me, but I can't come in and give you something I don't already have. When I want to
Yeah.
bring something, you're closing all the doors on me. But this, it's a company called Premier Care. And they have
Yes.
their offices here in Mornington, which makes it very simple for me. It's a
Yeah.
15-minute
Good.
bike ride, and I'm already there, you know.
Yeah.
So it makes it easy for me. But again, it's down to the interview and how things go at the interview.
Yeah.
I'm lucky enough, I've still got a full-time job either way. But I, I like sitting in an interview because I like to be able to present myself face to face rather than this online.
Yes.
God Almighty, I can't do it because it's just
It's
not, it just
awful,
doesn't seem
isn't
right.
it?
It is
It's
so
awful.
awkward.
Yeah.
It
But
is so
I'm
awkward.
sure they need people like you, and usually a lot of these places do actually offer training then.
That's what they've
With
told me. They will give.
yes.
They're going to give full training. She asked me first. She said, "Have you worked in care work?" I said, "No." Do you know anything about care work? Because the only care work I know about is my partner, Sandra. I help with her COPD and heart disease.
Yeah.
And she said, "Not to worry," she said, "we provide all of the training to all of our staff
Exactly.
throughout your time with us, yeah?" Um, so, I mean, anywhere else I went to over the years was you had to go and get your training and you had to sign up
Mm.
for this and you had to sign up for
Yeah.
that. I mean, that's one of the greatest things gone out of the workplace in the year is the dedication is gone from people because the companies are showing no commitment to the workforce. So the
No.
workforce are not going to show any commitment to the company.
And
First chance to go off to the next place.
there's far too few carers around as well, so I'm sure they'll welcome a person like you with open arms. I'm sure they will. And
I'm living
the
in
love
hope,
and the
Kristen. I'm hoping.
yeah, but the love and the thankfulness that people give you, you know, it just completely moves you. You know, it's
Yeah,
wonderful. I mean, it's 40 years ago now since I did this sort of work, and I can still remember many of my clients. They're still in my heart, you know, and they always will be.
yes.
You don't
I had a
forget that.
lady say that to me last week at the other job I'm at. She came out of care work, but she had to come out. She'd broken her back at
Yes,
one stage, yeah? And she had to come out of care work. And she was telling me, she said, it's the most gratifying, fulfilling,
it is.
soul piercing work.
It really
You
is.
don't have an actual bad day. You might have one when you go home, but you don't actually have it when you're out doing the job
Yeah,
because you can see in front of you how lucky you are to
yeah.
be in the position you are in. And the way she would talk about it, the dedication was still in her heart. She was 15 years away from it.
Mm,
And the dedication in her heart and how she would love to be able to go back to it and everything else. And I thought, wow,
yeah.
you've got to care for carers as well. You've got to give them respect because they do things that the rest of us know in our hearts and souls we would
Yes.
not or may not be able to do what
Yeah.
what, what people do.
Yeah. No, it's a very, very worthwhile job. I'm sure you'd love it. I'm sure they'll welcome you with open arms. If they don't, I want to know why.
Yeah, so I want to know why too.
Quite.
Oh, definitely. No, it's something I've always wanted to go into, Christine. I just never ever had the opportunity. And
Yeah.
this feels like this is a great opportunity now.
Yeah.
Absolute
This is
great
it.
opportunity.
This is it, boy. Go for it.
This is all, I'm getting in there, Christine. I'm giving it all
Good for you. Good luck. I really
tomorrow.
hope you
Thank
let
you
me know how you
so,
get
so
on.
much, Christine. I will,
Yeah.
yes. I will definitely.
Yes.
After the interview, I'll actually message you. I'll send it with the email.
Okay. Yeah. Let me know
Yeah.
how it goes. Yeah. Good
Oh,
luck.
Christine, lovely seeing you again. Have a lovely week ahead.
You too, my dear. And
I
hope for
will.
good news next week from you. That would be good.
Thank you so much.
Okay.
Oh, Christine, thank you millions.
And
Have a
thank you to
great
the lovely
night.
poets for letting me read your poetry. Some really wonderful stuff again tonight.
And you read
Great
it
stuff. Keep
beautifully.
going. Mm. Take
Indeed.
care.
Good night and God
Goodbye,
bless.
everybody.
Thank
Good
you.
night.
Bye-bye, Christine.
Bye.
Bye-bye. There we go. Christine Barker. And again, a wonderful, wonderful reading from all the poems that Christine brought tonight. Wow. And I've got to say, all of them were absolutely brilliant. I'm very spiritual myself. And the people already guessed that at times. And I love that spiritual effect from Johnny's poem that came in. And Christine's and Tracy's was an absolutely lovely, lovely poem. I've got something else here, haven't I? I have. I've got a poem that I wrote. And I hope you can read it the way it was in my head when I first wrote it. And it's called That I May Shine Your Light. This is a dedication and a prayer for all the poets that I've come across and even for those I have not come across. That I may shine your light. I don't want to die, dear Lord. I still have much to give. To those of lesser fortune, Lord, whom struggle just to live. If you take me off to heaven, Lord, my work be incomplete. My soul will roam in torture, Lord, so abject in defeat. Protect me from the shadows, Lord, where the reaper lays in wait. Spare me some more time, dear Lord, as I strive to meet my fate. Let me say goodbye, my Lord. Just let me dance once more, closely, in the arms, dear Lord, of the woman I adore. Let me write more words, dear Lord, from dawning until night. Let me lead me to man's darkness, Lord, that I may shine your light. Let me be your voice, my Lord. Your ways teach me to speak to those who do await you, Lord, to the souls that truly seek. My task will be complete soon, Lord, and then I'll take your hand. With peaceful mind and restful soul, then by your side I'll stand. And in the universe, dear Lord, where heaven lays in wait, I'll write your words with angels, Lord, contented in my fate. I love sitting down and reading the poetry of everybody out there and the feelings you get and the emotions you can go through. Hello, Kira, darling. That's my girl in Ireland. How are you doing, sweetie? Hope you're doing good. Haven't seen you on live for a while. But when somebody can write a poem that can touch the inside you, I mean, the feedback I got on that one, that I may shine your light from people last week was absolutely gobsmacking because I don't actually know what I'm writing before I write it. It just goes with the flow. And I'm sure that happens to a lot of people who write. And it goes with its own flow. And sometimes only after somebody says something of the poem do I go and actually read it with intent to read what is the poem. And you get that great shock of, wow, I wrote that. And it is a great shock that you wrote that to yourself. It's absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing. The feeling in itself. Shirley Brown, how are you? I know I haven't gotten to everybody again tonight. And Tracy, you've done wonderful. You're doing absolutely brilliant again tonight out there. Guys, I'm going to give you the quote for tonight, for the week ahead. Bandita Barney. It is lovely to see you here, Bandita. We have one of your poems coming next Sunday on the Dear John Live show, where Christine, whom you've seen already on camera, will pronounce your words to as many as possible that join this show. Dwayne Leon Rankin, you did promise you would be in, and Dwayne, you never let me down, ever, ever, ever. I got 2 quotes this week, by the way, guys. 2 quotes. I got one from a gentleman named Isaac Asimov. Yeah, who's Isaac? I'll tell you who he is. Yeah? Isaac Asimov was an American writer and professor of biochemistry at Boston University. Born on January 2nd, 1920. Whoa, in Petrovichy, Smolensk Oblast in Russia. And he died on April 16th, 1992 in Brooklyn, New York City, New York, USA. And Isaac said in his quote, "The saddest aspect of life right now is that science gathers knowledge much faster than society gathers wisdom." So very wise words, Isaac, you've left us with. It does. Look where science is bringing us now, and we don't understand very much about it. Will we ever get the wisdom? Well, we might get an app for that as well. There's lots of apps around. And my next one is a lady I met only 2 days ago. Lovely, lovely poetess. And her name is Marna Dupree Badrell. And I like this one. I really get into this one. This one is going to stay in my head for a long, long time. I might try this one out myself. Chase not time. Instead, run with it as it travels. Very, very true. We chase time. We're late for this, we're late for that, we'll never make it. And if we just go with the flow of time, can you just imagine inside your mind, just try to imagine what a difference that would make to your life. You're now moving with time. You're not going against it. You're not going off of it. You're going with it. It is the flow, the absolute flow. And there's nothing wrong with that. It is absolutely perfect. Nina, thank you very much for your beautiful quote for this week. Absolutely made up. And I've given you Rexanne's story, which was the good news story of the week. And again, Christine, thank you so much for the beautiful readings. Next week, you're going to be so busy. I might be a little bit busier myself next week as well. And dearest Tracy Woodhead, thank you so much for being the meter and greeter of the Dear John show. Absolutely brilliant job you've done tonight. And to everybody out there, if I didn't get you when you come in, I do apologise. I will get you on the recording and acknowledge your presence here with us. It's very hard to try and keep up with everybody on this side of the camera when you're trying to carry the show. But Tracy, you've done a wonderful job again tonight. Thank you so much. Christine, you are always a blessing. And beautiful poetry once again. Everybody, I wish you all a great week ahead, a blessed Sunday for the rest of the night, and may all of your dreams come true. From me, John Kavanagh, have a wonderful, wonderful evening and a great week ahead. And I look forward to seeing all of you right here next Sunday, 5 p.m. Good night, and may your God bless you wherever you go.